everyone, thank you for joining us in today's webinar. I'm Pratibha Dubey, the Digital Marketing Specialist at Cloud Analogy, the leading and top-rated Salesforce development and consulting company specializing in all-inclusive Salesforce services. So I will be your host today, and our main agenda of discussion will be on getting started with functional testing in Flood.io. Before we get started, just a reminder for you, please feel free to ask questions if you have any. Let me introduce our speaker panel for today's webinar. So we have Krapi Tulli, who is a senior Salesforce developer at Cloud Analogy and is a Salesforce certified platform app builder and platform developer 1 certified. And on the other side, we have Rajat Jaiswal, who is a proactive and talented technical lead at Cloud Analogy and handles a team of 15 plus developer QA. He also has hands-on experience in Salesforce configuration and development, and is a 3-owned 5x certified Salesforce developer in always passionate about new technologies, new ideas, and new ways of thinking. So hello Krapi and Rajat, I hope you guys are doing well.
Hi everyone, leading the webinar with the agenda. So we have following in the agenda: writing functional test scripts for your browser application. Test your app in the same way as a customer would do so. Validate the steps of your application, generate test data for load test, and run functional tests on your local. So tighten your seatbelt and we are moving ahead. Starting with the flood element. We came across flood when one of our leading clients came to us with load testing. So the client is a giant one and they run their application globally. So they wanted something which would be reliable, which would be fast, and at the same time not complicated one. And there flood came to the rescue. So the best part with the flood is you only need to write the functional test and flood will handle the rest. You would write a functional test, writing the steps which are there in your application, and flood on the other hand will provide you the GUI where you'll be settling everything and your application will be tested for the load test. During this webinar, we'll be guiding you with writing the basic functional test, and we'll be coming up with a second part of this webinar where we'll be showing you to run the test in the flood. With flood, it is scalable, it works for browser-based application, and it is as easy as functional testing. The main part is you are able to see your app running in the same way as a user would do so. So it's like writing a functional test script, but it is as easy to do a load test with flood. Coming to the features of flood, there are many: realistic load, test data, Selenium compatible, and whatnot. We'll be going through each one of them ahead. Coming to realistic load. With your application, you should know how your application behaves when a certain amount of users are using that. The application should not stress at that time. With load testing, you can surely get rid of that problem. The next is test data. What is load testing without test data? So the element provides you the option to create your own test data. It has predefined classes which you can use to generate the tests. You can use the tests that are generated in your script, or you can upload from using CSV or JSON as well. Selenium compatible. Selenium is a portable framework which allows you to test your web-based applications. You can easily move your Selenium scripts to Element scripts. Built on Puppeteer. Puppeteer is basically a node library that provides the API to control the headless Chrome or Chromium. While using that, you can control either you want to see your application running by using no headless, or by default it runs with headless, where you cannot see the GUI of the Chrome. TypeScript. It is basically built on JavaScript. So while writing the script, you need not to worry about learning a new language or new syntax. It provides a good and nice documentation and with script validation, which validates before you write a wrong or incorrect script. Also, the TypeScript is basically there for developing large applications. Moving ahead to command line interface. Command line interfaces are always a pros. So whether you need to generate a new test, you need to validate, or you need to run your application locally, interactive CLI is always over to you, Ratan.
Thank you, Krabi, for the wonderful introduction for the elements and flood. So, moving ahead, I'm gonna demonstrate the same elements command. So, here we are with the commands which we can use to install the elements, and we can use both either in the npm or the n, and also for the iOS. Sorry, and also for the Mac, there is a different command on the element flood. We can go and on the website and can check that. So for the elements, these are the basic three commands which we always use, and this is the concurrent use of these three commands. So first one is to initialize the project. So if you have to start a new project, you can use the first one. It's called element init and the project name. So this is something like my element project. You can use yours. If you have already a directly, so you can directly use element init. This will be work. And the second one is generate a new test file. This is basically if you are initializing a project, it will already generate a TypeScript file which you can use that. But if you want to create your new one, so you can use this command to create a new TypeScript file. And the next one is to run your script locally. So on your system, if you want to run your test script, so you can use this command to run your script. So basically on that particular directory, you have to run element run and the file TypeScript file name. So scripting in element. Okay, so in the element, we majorly divide into three sections so that it can be more understandable and differentiate all of them. So the first part you can see on the picture, you can also see it is showing the where we are importing the library from the flood element. And the second part is the configuration part of the test setting, which we can use to configure in the elements. Something like uh, for the loop count, you can see that. So we can put there like how many times we need that, so that we can configure it there. And the third one is, which is the major part, is the class part. So where we are going to write the script and what needs to be checked and what needs to be put there. So this is it for the scripting and the element. Using test data. So basically in the using test data, what we can do, we can have a separate backup data in somewhere, either in the elements.js or in the external files like CSV or the JSON. So we can use that to provide that particular data values in the script. Like you have a login page and you want to put different multiple login credentials there. So you can use this to use that. You don't need to write same code again and again. Next one is demo. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so let's go ahead with the demo session. So I'm gonna go with the Microsoft DOS here, the command prompt basically, and I'm in the drive. So I have already installed element command in my local, so I'm not gonna use this command. But if you don't have, so you can use these to install CLI in your local. So the next one, okay, so let's start with the creating a project. So I'm gonna start it, creating a new project called element in it. I'm going to create a new directory as well. See a website. In this particular demo, I'm gonna test few things in the Cloud and Logger website. I need this test script, yes, and the name is this. That's correct. No issue with that. So basically, this is all asking the by default TypeScript file, which is going to create. So this project is in slides, you can see. So I'm going to the particular directory, and right now I'm in the directory. Let me open some of the local code. So I open Visual Studio. Okay, so on here, if you see the project is initialized, see a website, and if you see the file, see a website .ts. This is the by default file which is generated from the element script. So I will use this command. So I'm gonna close this particular command test will. Okay. Okay. So this is the by default TypeScript file as I already mentioned. So let me run this particular file and show you how this is working for the element flood. Okay. So the running command is element run mask the test file name. I haven't created the new file. I will create those though, but I haven't created yet. So I'm gonna use the existing default one. So how this can be run? Element run, and the file name is ca-website .ts. Sorry, this will run, but this is not going to show you something because this is default run. So I will show you how it actually runs. So you see the script compiled and compiled successfully. The iteration one is started. So on the test setting, this is commented. Okay, so this will be going again and again. The second option is going again. Okay, let me drop this particular terminal flow and go back to that again. So I uncomment this, remove this particular section just to show you that how this is working. So element then a website, the same name I'm using again, website.ts. And if we add no headless here, so it will show you the way like how this is going to perform the action. So let's wait and see. See, this opened the Chromium browser here and redirect to that particular URL which is posted there. So that's all we are going to do for the CA website. And once done, you can see the expected output, the result in that. So let's go and start for the cloud and login website. So what I need to change, I need this test setting and the loop count is one is fine. Let me clean some code here so that it's not gonna too much things on the screen. So on the start, okay, so let me tell you the first thing about the script, what is written here, so that the further thing I will be introducing with that simultaneously. Okay, so as already mentioned, on the three section which we follow for the TypeScript, the first section is for the importing the library from the flood element, and the second is a configuration for the test settings which we are going to do for that particular script, and this one is for the class level. We are going to write what action needs to be performed. Okay. So the main library which we are importing from this flood element. Okay, and the same is the steps which we are the method which we are using to run our so the steps of what it is going to do on my particular class on my particular script, how many steps are there, this is going to define in this particular steps, and using step I'll be going to perform that action, and this is going to verify it through the steps. Okay, so let's start. That's fine. This I'm running this two in synchronously, and the browser variable which you can see, this is the actual browser which is opening, and we have control based on that. So, like if you see on the line number 11, it's called browser.git. So basically, this is redirecting to this particular URL, and until this is load, this will be not going to the next line. And the next one is take a screenshot. So on the last one, if I show you the output, I believe this is the last one. This is the last one. Okay. So in the screenshot, if you see, the last screenshot is taken by this, which we run that last. Okay. Let me go back and delete this particular text. Okay. So we don't need this. right now. So here I pasted the Cloudology URL, which we are going to navigate on the first. I hope this URL is fine. Yes. Okay. So this will redirect to that particular URL. So what I'm going to do today, this will redirect to this particular page, and I'm going to the contact us page from here, and I will fill the information all the which is required, and message. I'm not going to submit for the false record on the Cloudology, but I'm going to submit, put the values in it, and quickly go back to and the multiple records. Let's do that for the 3 or 5, so that we can check that this particular page is working fine through the test load. Okay. So what all I have to do? So this is the step one. Let me declare this step one. Start. Start is fine. So on the step two, what we are going to just to navigate the contact us page. Okay, so that it can be understood for everyone in the chunks. So I'm going to there step two. Move to contact us page. Let's see. Browser we took away and okay. So method is written for the step two. So what all we need to get a specific ID or locator or something, right? So if I go to the inspect for this particular contact us, I don't have a specific ID, so I'm going with the XPath so that I can directly go there. Copy XPath for this particular anchor tag, which is for the contact us, and I'm going to put here. So let me create a variable called contact us option, then by dot XPath. So what by.xpath is doing here to get that particular xpath through the by on that particular variable. So if you see on the first line, I imported the by through the element flood. So if you go to the standard website of the element flood, so you can get an option how we can get the locators. Okay. And we got the xpath on the variable. So let me go and go to the particular, sorry, navigate it to that particular element. So element, this is not the actual element which we are demoing. This is the simple variable that browser dot find element, and we'll pass the same variable here. Okay, so why we put await here? So basically the element variable will be filled once it will be find the actual element. Okay, so and then what we need to do, we have to focus on it and click it. Okay, so the two standard JavaScript methods we need to follow. Then element dot focus, wait until we doesn't click. Okay, so I need to click on that, and once done, I'll be taking the screenshot of this particular page. Let me save this and run the same command. So I'm running the same TypeScript file again. So let's say dot put. We'll see if there is any issue or something. So it is redirected the cloud only to the Chromium. Step one is running. So step 1 is passed here. You can see on the log. This is the console log, developer log of the website. So you see this is highlighted. The contact us option is highlighted, and it is navigating it to the contact us page. So step 2 is passed as well, and the result is it is fast. Great. So we are done with the step 2. So what next we need to do? We have to put the values on this particular fields. Right. So let me create another option. Step 3. Step 3 will required fields and in a sync version. Okay, so the same thing we need to do. We have to put the our particular data into this particular name, email, phone, and company. So how we can do that? The same thing we will going to follow for the XPath, and but for the putting there is a browser dot type. So we are going to use this particular browser dot type to put the particular values into the field basically. Yeah. So let's put the dash one. So on here we have to put the particular XPath. Okay, so project type is the providing the two parameters it is receiving. The first one is the locator and second one is the value. Okay. Project type. Okay, so what I need to put here, as we put the same for the uh, yeah, for the contact option, the anchor text. So the same and path I need to paste it for the name. So let me go and copy this path for the name. So you can see the input. So here we are going to input that. So I'm gonna click here and copy the X path. Okay. So I pasted the X path. I'm gonna take the screenshot for this particular dashboard. So I'm only filling the name right now. I hit save and I'm going to run that same again. Okay, so I'm not filling all of them. I'm just filling the name for now so that I can confirm that this is working fine for me. Let me okay, this one. And this is so step 1 is starting. Step 1 is completed. So step 2 navigating to contact page is starting, and it is navigated to that page. See on the name if it will fill the name. Fill the required field. You can see the name. But it's just while it's adding there. That's all we did here. And it will take the screenshot and done. Great, this is fast. So let me show you the screenshot of the last one. So I go to the last folder, open this one, and this is the home page. This is the contact us page, and the third page, which is containing the registers. If you see here, okay. So this is done. The step 3 is done. So what I need to do, I need to put other information. So similarly, I can put the other information. So let's go ahead with the other topic, which is to use custom data. So I just want to cover this that in this particular webinar as well. So using that, I will be showing you that as well. So that it's not going to be a very long, lengthy boring session for that. Okay. So let's suppose we need dynamic data for this particular case. So let me. Okay, I'm just taking the first name and the email for now to filling all for all so that it's not getting too much time. Go and copy the path for the email as we copy for the others. and I'm pasting the same email. So we are going to dynamic this particular things which we are hard coding it here. Okay. So for that, what all we have to do, basically we need that somewhere on the record. Okay. So I'm going to create a new CSV file to action. So here, I hope it's not activated. First column is name, second column is email. That's fine, I guess. I'm going to use only these. Rajat Jaiswal. I'm going to put my email. I put my email and I'm going to share this to the particular folder. Basically, this needs to be understand that we need to save it on there. Thus, we need to map that. Otherwise, it can be directly saved on the CA website, which we created folder on the A drive. So I'm going to share that there. Be a CSV file called. Let's leave it as test data for load testing. So, yes, I want to confirm on that. So if I go back to the Visual Studio Code, I can see the new CSV file is come here. If I open that, you can see the values, name, email for the latest one. Okay, and it contains my email as well. So I'm going to use that particular dynamic variable here, dynamic values here. Okay, so for that, I need the new variable, but I need to create an interface first. So let me create an interface. Interface row. Row is first variable is name. That is type of string and the email. And also taking as a string this. So this we are going to use. Here one more thing we need to take care of this, which is not test data, test setting, which is test data. So the test data which we can use, this is the library which we can import from the element. So I need to add this here as well. Test data dot from CSV as we created CSV and row the interface and the file name. So the file name is here. I can just copy it from there. I don't want to miss something, so that I copy it always. Okay, so there's a CSV file. I pasted here for the test data, and I created interface so that I can use row to get that particular data. These two things I have to add in the class level, and then when we are starting the steps, so it will be go to the browser. Browser is coming from the browser, and row is coming from the row, the interface which we created. Okay, so the challenge is here to make this particular hard-coded value to the dynamic. So what all we need to do, going to use dollar variable and row dot name, and similarly on the row dot email. So using this, it is going to take the particular value from the CSV file. Let's run this particular and see what. Right now there is only one record on the CSV for me, Rajat Jaiswal, and Rajat.jaiswal@cloudnl.com. Not opened yet. Yes, data. That's fine. Test types come from here and this. Okay, let me run that again. I hope I'm not missed anything.
Rajat, maybe in the line 14, it should be from CSV. Test data from CSV.
Oh, I mistyped. Yeah, that's the case. Thank you, Ravi. It should be from CSV. I put it mistakenly. Yeah, thank you. So this was the fault. Hmm. So it is redirected to the chronology and starting the step one. And step one is done. It is navigating to the contact us page. It is navigated. It is also done. The step two. We see the values, uh, name and the email. Name is filtered there. Email is also filled there through the CSV because I haven't added hard coded there anything. Okay, so I guess this will be complete. Yeah, all the steps are passed. That's great. So this for the using a third party files which we can use, not a third party, the good variable, external files is the good word. Okay, so one more thing I want to show. This is about to finish, so I just want to show one more thing that like this is for the one record. I just want to show you for the multiple record. Me add my other speakers from particularly and so what we are going to do in this particular case, I added one more row here for Grubby, and this will run for one time because the loop count is for the one time. That's what I want to heads up so that I pick this particular point. So if you have multiple row and how many row you know that, so that you have to add loop count for that as well because right now it is only running for one time and you have two records to validate, so that you need to execute it at the second time so that it will pick the second variable as well that time. Okay, so I updated the loop count and I'm going to run the same static file again, element run and the same file. I'm using the arrow key so that I'm getting that particular text automatically. Step 2 is started. For the iteration 1, this is running right now. Step 2 is passed, and the step 3, which is going to the field particular values, the name and the email, which we put. Yeah, you can see. We can add submit option as well, but I don't want to be a false report on that, so we're not taking that. So the iteration was successfully passed. You see the 3 option on the right left. Iteration 2 is running here, and step 1 is passed, and step 2 it is navigating to the contact page. It is done, and it should be filled capitally and the email for her. See the name capitally. It is taking a difference from the CSV file. That's what I want to reflect to you guys. So I'm done with the tabs file. And if you have any question, you can paste it on the chat.
So yeah, Rajat and Krapi, we have some few questions from our audience side. So I just want you guys to say something about this. The first question which came up from the audience side is that in the demo we saw the functional testing. So what about the load testing? So yeah, Guys, please
Yeah.
help us.
So you see, we decided initially to divide this webinar into two parts. The first part will be showing how to write the functional tests and run them on your local. So we have the basic knowledge of writing everything. So once we are done with that, we can move ahead and run the functional test script that we have written on the flood. And we'll be covering that part in the second webinar. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, thank you, Krapi. And we also have a second question from our audience side. That is, in the first step, we go to the website, and in second, we check for XPath. So what if the page doesn't load and cannot find XPath? So what will they do for this?
Yeah, so I can answer that question. So basically, for that case, first of all, I just want to say, if you don't find the XPath, if it is not finding XPath, so it is definitely going to fail that particular step on your side. But to overcome this, how you can do that? Basically, if you see, I usually use the await so that it will be wait until it is fine. Okay. The other thing is that we can add timeout here so that it can be wait for that particular second, which we are going to configure in that particular like in the test setting or something. So we can go with that, and we just need to make sure that XPath is correct, and we are waiting until it is fine. And if we have still any case, so we have to add timeout for that. Okay. I hope it is your.
Yeah, great. It was great having you guys. Actually, these were the two questions which were asked from the audience side. So yeah, it was great to have you guys for this amazing webinar. And thank you. We have get a lot of knowledge from you guys. And yeah, definitely I will love to have you as a speaker for our next webinar. So thank you guys. Thank you so much.